Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have another review for you. This is one that I've been really excited for. I've been looking for forever, and I managed to find it this past weekend on Batman Day. Um, uh, let's get straight into it. From Humanoids, this is Space Bastards #1. Um, let's see, let me make sure I get all the names right. I know a couple of them by heart. We got writers is Joe Aubrey and Eric Peterson. Art is done by Darick Robertson. Colors is done by Diego Rodriguez, and letters is Simon Bowland. For those of y'all who watch Spine Ticks on Saturday, I am one of the panel members, but Eric Peterson, he kind of shows up on the show quite often. I think he's been there 3 or 4 times since I've been on the show. He is a very nice individual, a very cool cat, very, regular talking individual, especially for a famous person. He's really cool to just hop on the show and kind of goof around with us. But I have really wanted to read his book, and besides all that, long backstory, I did not know anything about this book besides that it entails, the beginnings of the Order of the BeanBag, which is also a Spine Ticks thing. But it's all related to Eric Peterson. It's just the love of this book and them trying to promote it for him. But man, this is a great book. Without me not knowing anything, seeing a couple of panels, I already knew it had good art because I have seen some of the art. And the art is amazing, but let's get straight into it. So first off, it sets up like a little bit into the future. There are characters that we see here that are present from the beginning of the story, and some that we don't meet currently. But it does happen at a casino, and we see some things go wrong, and a massive explosion happens. After that, we kind of get the main rundown and what this is, and I love the premise of this story. It's kind of basic in its own rights, but the basicness of it is such the fun part. Basically, this is it's set up in the far future, and just like any kind of civilized world, there does become the need of postmen, to drop off packages. Us being comic book fans or any kind of we tend to use eBay and Amazon and then FedEx and UPS and certain things like that, right? So in this galaxy far, far, far away, or maybe not so far away, we do find out that there is a postal service program set up, and that's kind of what Space Bastards is monikered around. We do see that this individual picks up this package using this bracelet. It is kind of like DNA logged to him or whatever. And he basically kind of walks outside, and the second he does, he is ambushed and explodes. And the guy that kills him picks up the package, and the package continues on. They show that as he's leaving the planet, that this guy is eventually ambushed, and the second, and he does prevail from the ambush, but the second he lands planetside, they show here that he is just, ambushed by a team of people. Eventually, we kind of see this scene where it's like a slew of people, maybe 50 to 60 individuals fighting over this package. And it's gotten to the point where they've kind of lost sight of it, and we see this guy, and he just kind of comes through with the flamethrower and burns everybody up in a crispy fashion, and grabs the package, and he does see that even him, that somebody tries to get him from behind, and the guy kind of sees who it is, and we hear his name, and it is Manny. But we do see that Manny kind of takes care of that guy, because he does pause, saying that he shouldn't have done it because it was Manny, and Manny even makes the term "you should have, punk," and then kills him. But we do meet our kind of one of our main characters. He's on the cover, but this is Manny Corn, and I love his name. But it kind of jumps over after Manicorn delivers the package, and it jumps to our next main character, which is David Proton, um, or Davy as he likes to be called. But we catch up with David, and he is working for a company, and for some reasons or others they're laying him off. He kind of, you know, states, "Hey, I've been doing this and this for the company," but I mean, you know, his defense does not, you know, amount to anything, and he does get laid off. We do see that eventually his girlfriend or wife eventually leaves him, you know, due to him being jobless. The economy hits a bad way at the time where he is living, and it just gets worse from there. Reaching out to his parents and family and friends, you know, maybe them helping, you know, for a short time, and then burning the bridge, and him getting low and down, and eventually he runs across an ad, you know, kind of like a commercial for this postal service. And we meet kind of a main character, and we've already seen him on the first page, but that is Roy Sharpton. And Roy Sharpton is basically the guy who runs the intergalactic postal service, you know, system. So David kind of takes up on that commercial, and we see him fly out, and we do see this statue of Mr. Roy Sharpton, and it kind of looks like the casino that is in the very beginning, you know, of the book. We do see that he does, you know, he does make it to the postal service, and that he does kind of, he is introduced into like a, I don't know what they're called, but a, you know, basically a presentation on what it would be to be a postman, and some of the rules to the postman. And basically how it works is, you know, you go pick up a package with your bracelet. After that, your DNA locked onto it. Now, if someone kills you, or, you know, for some reason you lose the package and someone comes along and picks it up, then you know, it can still continue on its way. But at the same time, after it passes, you know, from hand to hand, the package gets more valuable because there are more fees attached to it, and whoever delivers gets all those fees. So it could be one package that starts at a nice sum, but depending on how many hands it goes through, you know, it could get extremely valuable. Thus, beginning kind of you know, making this kind of a, you know, hidden game within delivering packages. But we do meet a, you know, for any spine tick enthusiast, this is the first appearance of the sacred testicles right here, right on the right, and we actually get them on 2 pages. I thought they showed up on the 4th issue, but they do show up on the 1st issue. We get to see the monkeys with the gigantic, you know, rubies. Anyways, during this like presentation, most of these people find out that there is a good amount of violence attached to it, and they leave, and then we are left with our one guy, David. He kind of walks out, and he meets with the same guy at the desk, and says that he's still on board, and kind of asks him questions about you know, how dangerous it is and this and that. And the guy doesn't answer that, and basically he says at the moment he's going to have to shadow another more experienced postal person until, you know, after he completes his first mission. Then after that he can go on his own. So they do team him up with our guy Manicorns, and they are introduced, you know, back and forth with David and Manny. The whole time Manny is talking to him, he kind of flips through different names, just like me. I am horrible with names, but I think Manny's doing it on purpose because he calls them Darick and Peter and all kind of different stuff. But we basically get you know, them, you know, making it to the place where they need to pick up the package, and basically from that point on, and it is just a rampage of jam-packed action. We do see that, you know, at first that David is real timid. You know, he kind of hangs around the background while Manny takes care of everything. Eventually, Manny kind of drops the package, and David does come up and grab the package. As he is grabbing the package, he is kicked in the nuts from behind, and we see this girl who grabs it, and she takes off running, and you know, it's this back and forth where like somebody grabs it, there's another group, somebody grabs it, then, you know, and it's a lot of that happening on. But eventually it does get to this point where it's a massive crowd of people that grab it, and Manticore is kind of dealing with most of the people in that group. Enough where David can walk up and kind of take the package, and as soon as he does, there's this cyborg guy that's trying to take it, and Manticore's like, bro, that's your first kill right there. Go ahead and kill that guy, take the package so we can get this done. And he even states that the robot guy is kind of like a nobody, that he should be able to do it easily, but we do see that Manny isn't up for the task, and the robot guy does ending him he stabs him in like the back right shoulder. As soon as he gets up and runs off with the package, Manticore kills that guy, grabs the package, they move along. There is this moment where basically David, he wants to rest and he needs medical attention, and there, he's supposed to be shadowing this guy, and then there's this conversation from Manticore about like what it is to be a postal delivery person, and how important it is once they sign on to the task that it is them that delivers the package, and how much that means to Manticore. And basically he kicks him to the side and leaves David, and he's like, screw this, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna finish on with returning this package. And David just really wants some medical attention. We do have a scene where David does try and like pull the thing by himself, and he's not able to do that, and he does kind of huff and puff, and he gets up and tags along with Manny and makes it to the ship. Manny basically tells him to stay out of his way, kind of thing. We do get a scene where David, it goes in the back of the ship, and he is trying to take out the knife, or I think it's like a rebar that's in the back of his his shoulder, and he's trying to pull it up, and at the same time they're getting ambushed by some guy named Jerry. But and I'm not making that up, I think it is Jerry or Jed or something like that. But eventually David does pull through, and he manages to pull out the rod, heal up, and make it back to the front. And he does grab some things along the way, some ammunition and some weapons. They do land, and it is supposedly the delivery where they need to deliver the package is right around the corner. We see instantly, there are people waiting for Manny and David, and as soon as they get out, Manticore takes out the people, and basically David kind of goes around the corner, and he's like, hey bro, I found this way back here, and he leads Manny that way. And as soon as he does, Manny goes around the corner, and it looks like he steps into a trap, and I want to assume that David put there, but they don't show it. But as soon as this happens, David takes the package and takes off, and he already has some plans in motion, just like they showed. One of the things he grabbed are some grenades, and knowing he's being followed, he climbs up and just tosses the grenades down. Of course, doesn't plan for everything. There are some moments when he has to grapple with some people, like this guy, and he manages to toss him off a building. There are some other close encounters, some people that he just didn't imagine being in on the parcel game, and like this bartender that he already ran into before. But they do get to the point, and there was numerous funny scenes. There was two actually laugh out loud scenes. One on this page where David uses a blender to blend this guy's hand up, which you'll see the end results on this page. But basically, David kind of being this badass, not only tricking Manny in the way he did, but also kind of taking care of most of the people that show up. At the very end, we do get where right at the end where David has already made it through everybody and taken care of most of his competition, and he makes it to where he needs to deliver the package. And at the last second, we see that Manny has recovered and kind of beats him over the head and takes the or bashes his nose in, but same thing. But and takes the package and is about to deliver it. But we see that at some point that David got a hold of Manny's bracelet and had planned for this just in case, and explodes the bracelet, damaging Manny's hand and arm in the explosion, and is able to turn in the package and collect the reward now that it had been through so many different hands. There is one thing that is mentioned before, that Manny has this shit list that any time that, somebody excuse me, somebody kind of gets the better of him, or maybe delivers a package better than him or something like that, they go up on his shit list, and now David has been added onto his shit list. And they basically just, he tells David that he needs to spend that money as soon as he can because he's coming for him. Then they jump over with this, thing with it looks like, I want to say it might be the government or something like that, but they are talking to this Sharpton guy about eliminating some riots that are going on one of the planets, and they kind of jump over to the next day with this, somebody in charge of the governments that hired that Roy Sharpton to do what he was supposed to do, and it looks like he fumbled, and now the government might be kind of after that Roy Sharpton and his program of the space parcel, variety. But that's where it leaves us off. It shows a picture of the second cover from issue number 2. I think currently they're at issue 8 or 9. I'm not positive. Currently I only own 1 and 4. Not because that's all I wanted to buy. That's all I've actually been able to find. I've actually been steadily trying to find issues of this because I've been wanting to read it. And look at that, man. What a great read. It's a great story. The art is just stellar. I love the story so much, actually, because of the basicness of it. It's just basically them picking up packages and delivering them and trying to avoid the obstacles of along the way. And there's so many, routes and avenues. And then you're talking about the whole government and Roy Sharpton thing in the background. But I kind of hope they continue on with that theme. If I had to compare it to someone, like some other stuff, and he does have an editorial page at the end where he kind of explains the, the origins of Space Bastards and where they came up from and how long it took for them to get, all the different versions that it came out of. I want this Kickstarter from the original #1. It looks amazing, the cover. But I can say that it kind of reminds me like almost of Doom and Quake. If you ever play Quake, it's basically like you start the arena and it's this kill match, and there's no reason why everybody's killing each other. But I always, reading this now, like it kind of strikes me like if you just, give yourself, that character in Quake a parcel package, and then it's you trying to just basically stay alive. That's kind of what this is about. But it's such a fun ride. I mean, this was a big book. I mean, especially for $5.99, which was the original price when it came out. This is a thick book. You were getting your money's worth in the first issue, and I have the 4th issue, and it's just this big. But it was not overly written. It was not. I mean, there was enough stories, so it was engaging. It was a really good read, and I'm not just hyping this up because I've talked to the writer or the creator. No, nothing. It was an actual good book, good art. I just showed you. If you did not think the story was for you, then maybe it wasn't. But I really enjoyed the first issue of Space Bastards, and I will definitely be looking for the ongoing issues so I can read it and review it for you and get some more love out there for this book. But thanks for watching. If you have read this, let me know. Maybe you've read it further on. Let me know in your thoughts. Does it stay good? I'm hoping it does. I'll see y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.